Alright, let's get into this. Ended up taking a trade. Um, took a W, but honestly, kind of like not really. Didn't really love the trade, to be honest. Um, but I took it. So let's just kind of get into today. Today was like not hard to predict, but it was just kind of a little bit different of how Price wanted to move today, in my opinion. Um, Obviously Price is bullish here. Um, Honestly, wasn't expecting that. Um, all I was really expecting was for Price to manipulate right into session, go higher up until this red line here, and see sell power down. That's what I was. That's what I was thinking today. That's what I wanted. There was this because of this bullish SMT here. Um, like, and it would be completed once we hit these highs. Um, I could have maybe found a trade to complete that SMT, Um, I should have maybe done that. That's kind of what I'll take away from today. But honestly, I don't know if I felt super comfortable taking a trade to try and just complete the SMT. I don't know. That's what this red line's for. Um, it's just showing where it's complete, where it was completed at, or where it would have to go to be completed, the SMT, you know? Um, but yeah. Anyways, so that's kind of what I was seeing today. That formed, whoops, that formed kind of near the open and pre-market. But for today I was bearish, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. Or well, I wasn't bearish, but I was trying to see price go lower here. Like I wanted to follow the trend, um, or not the trend, but like I wanted to follow, like I wanted to kind of just ride along with price in a way, if that makes sense today, but that just wasn't the case. But anyway, we inversed this gap on the hourly time frame to the downside, and then we also have all these draws of liquidity here, low resistance, draws of liquidity. These look really great in my opinion. These probably ought to get hit at some point soon, I'd like to say. Um, and at the time, draws to the upside of liquidity, like to be frank, was not very good at all, to be honest. We had this one form 7 a.m. and we were really close to it already, so I figured we would take that out and then maybe form an SMT or something. Like one index takes it, the other doesn't, whatever. And then the next one literally wasn't till all the way up here, and then we have all the way up here, so they're kind of stacked. That's the thing though too. And then I didn't even or I don't know what I was gonna say, but and then these up here and these up here. Now these two right here, these are strong draws of liquidity. They're relative equal, right above this imbalance here in price. Um, Pretty strong, especially because these two as well, like right lined up, and then you have these two. So like I understand why price is pushing the way it is right now. We're ripping. Um, but that just like wasn't really expected because of inversing this gap on the hourly time frame, and then uh in the 4 hour it was honestly kind of hard to say. But we did create this bearish SMT, um which did get completed once we took out this low. But yeah, so anyway, and yeah, But I really just I wanted to see these draws of liquidity get taken out. Maybe not all the way down here, but um, and ES would have been the leading index at the time. We were way closer on ES. But these were super strong draws of liquidity or draws of liquidity as well because these are relative equal lows. Like they're pretty close together, super stacked. Like that, I would have loved to see Price take that. Like it is what it is. It's not gonna do what you want it to do. Um, but and then also at the time as well, we like during all of what's it called London session, we were respecting this gap, looking into it and seeing um price like come down, and then especially with this hourly candle, this bearish hourly candle, we saw price kind of tap into it, and um you know we saw bearish power out, plus we're inversing a gap, you know what I mean, on the hourly time frame. So I figured, yeah, this is ideal, you know what I mean? And off open, I wanted to see us probably manipulate this high here, and we almost did that. We were really close right off open. Um, but then that wasn't the case. Um, and so then I was like, okay, well, that happened, so there is no need to enter a trade until this gets taken out, unless I'm wanting to take a trade to target this. You know what I mean? Like like once that wasn't taken, I started to see candles like form, like you know what I mean? Like this is just kind of manipulation here. So like you can't like this is not what I'm wanting to enter trades, like I like there's no point, you can easily get stopped out. So I just had to be patient there. And I've gotten burned doing that before, so I didn't want to do that at all. Um, and so yeah, it was really just about patience and um, but like it's just like hard as well because like what are you supposed to do with this right here? Like you you really can't do anything with that. Like not even this here, even, but like bro, you can't do anything with that. Like that's just gambling at this point if you're trying to take a trade off this. Now, if you're taking a trade off maybe a confluence here to the upside because we have all these, you know, draws of liquidity, but I consider these also they were kind of high resistance liquidity in a way because just of how low we were, and like the market has been crazy recently. Like if you really think about it, man, like we've just been, you know, like ripping towards opposite draws of liquidity, honestly, in my opinion. Like we like to trade away from high resistance liquidity, and the last like week the market has been trading towards high resistance liquidity, if that makes sense in a way. So yeah, I mean it's just we're trying to adapt with price, and that's kind of the reason for this trade as well today. Like honestly not even super happy with the trade just because like it was literally at 9:20 and like there was no real need for it, honestly. I mean, I was risking, I didn't risk like, I was risking maybe half of what I usually risk, you know what I mean? So, like, yeah, because like it was just so late in the day and we were just unsure really because we were kind of playing back into this hourly gap, or not back into it, I'm sorry. Um, what gap am I talking about here? Okay, no, yeah, because then we inverse this gap and then in the 5 minute we had a few gaps down here. Yeah, we had these gaps here within that. And I was just waiting to see like maybe if we were able to retrace, down in here and see bullish out of it, then we would want to take these highs, you know what I mean? Because this is like they're relative equal, so it's like pretty strong, especially being that close, like only a few, you know, ticks away at the time, like, you know what I mean? Um, so that was really the reason for this trade. And then like ideally this gap, there was like a super crucial gap in here. It may have been this one. I can't remember. We did inverse this one, but then went straight back down. But I didn't enter my trade off that. I entered off this break of structure. Um, I wanted to see like a deeper retrace, But luckily, I honestly like not a time of luck today, but like obviously this took skill and patience, because I missed all this stuff, But it was just I wanted to see Price stay in this imbalance for a little bit longer of time, just because of what we did down here. You know what I mean? Like we have another leg down, we're kind of going back. Another leg down, we're going back. Another leg down. Like we never manipulate that much usually. It's usually a couple times at most, you know what I mean? But we had three times, and this I'm guarantee you stopping. This probably stopped a good amount of people out, a good amount of traders out, in my opinion. Um, and I used to be a part of that, but I've been trying so hard to like just stay patient in the markets, and it's been helping. Honestly, I haven't really been able to take as many trades, but that's fine though, because then my win rate is higher. So yeah, it's important you look at the stats as well. So yeah, I'm just kind of yapping over here, but yeah, so this was the trade, and also we took it on NQ because it was closer to the draws, but we were monitoring ES. As you can tell, NQ it didn't tap equilibrium, but we were in this gap, and we saw power out, uh, to the upside. But in ES, I didn't want to take the trade on there because we weren't as close to the draws and they didn't look as good on ES. You know what I mean? I mean, still would have played out as you can see, but that's always not the case. Sometimes ES could just consolidate like this while NQ was closer to the draws and it could go up like that. You know what I mean? But that wasn't the case today. But anyway, and so we saw it tap it here, so I felt comfortable taking the trade on NQ, basically monitoring off of ES, if that makes sense, because we're also in um this 5 minute gap as well, and this is the last gap as well, the bottom one, because we also have this one here. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, that was kind of the trade, and we just wrote it up on NQ to these highs, just for like a small little trade, like a 1-to-1, really. But yeah, so it's kind of what we seen today. Um, yeah. Now, probably gonna try and back test a little bit before I go to work. So yeah, I'll see y'all later. And let's have a good weekend. I'm working all weekend, but just I gotta find find ways where I can trade, where I can back test. I need a back test, back test, back test, back test. Yeah, peace.